A couple of weeks back, everyone's favorite Vermont Senator Sanders did an interview with the editorial board for the Register, which is in Iowa. It's located in Des Moines. And he said something that made me sick to my stomach. He talked about his appreciation and the general lack thereof for one LBJ. So let's hear this atrocious comment of his, and I'll comment on it.
I think that after Lyndon Johnson won his landslide victory in when he won that in '64, fighting for Medicare, fighting for Medicaid, fighting for a host of programs that benefited working people. And by the way, I think, with the exception of the terrible Vietnam War, Lyndon Johnson is an underestimated president.
Well, did you hear what he said? He said, besides the Vietnam War, Lyndon Johnson was an underestimated president in his view. What a horrendous thing. I mean, who could support a man who creates Medicare and Medicaid? Who could back a man that made Head Start? Who could endorse and prop up a man who signed the Civil Rights Act or the Voting Rights Act? Oh, just makes me want to puke. No, the reason I'm doing this whole little charade is because a couple of months ago, and I actually did a stream about this person, a anti-war conservative user was surprised, and they brought Johnson up out of nowhere, and I mentioned, oh, I like him. This was enough for them to write me. It was like 18 different comments in my my live streams chat room, which I didn't respond to any of them during the stream because I said, you're not going to take over my stream. So this person got upset because I wouldn't go back and forth with them. They left, said they couldn't take me seriously anymore. And, they cited all the international stuff, Gulf of Tonkin, all the rest of the trash, But I was trying to make this point when I responded to their comments in a separate stream after they were, yanked, that I am a social democrat. I am someone who, for the most part, backs programs that are designed to assist people. And I kind of have had this problem with a lot of these anti-war conservatives. When it comes to domestic issues, it's like they're really not that different from the mainstream Republicans. You look at someone like Rand Paul or his supporters. We need to get rid of these. We need to have a balanced budget, which is code word for screw with all the domestic programs and pretend like they're the problem, even though we spend the most in the military. And this is it. It's. I'm just so tired of watching people who really have no ideas of their own disparage those of us that do. And you can understand that, if this person thought Johnson was so horrible, right? Do you think, and I even made this point during the stream, when this individual gets to be 65 and can qualify for Medicare, do you think he's going to jump in front of the office and go, oh no, Social Security office, no, please don't give me this program. I want nothing to do with that horrendous president? Or do you think he's going to accept it and take it? And I bring this up because I've just remembered he actually complained and said that the social programs were the reason that Black children don't have parents, even though this was actually proven to. So I said before they could be a factor, but the fact that you have more whites on welfare and their rate of staying together when they have children is 75%. Means that they're just you can't objectionably see the largest group using this program staying together 3/4 of the time and say that the program itself causes large swaths of ethnic groups to just stop being together. Basically, if the largest group on it stays together 3/4 of the time, then you got to look at other factors like massive incarceration, Blacks getting arrested more times than whites. But see, these are things that his feeble mind wouldn't allow him to picture. When you're actually objectionable about stuff, you allow yourself to not fall into one little get rid of this and it solves all box. But I also made the point that when you have a lot of these conservatives, and we talk about gun control, they say, oh no, it's the people, not the weapons themselves that kill people. And when they talk about, welfare being the reason why people have separated when they have children, well, if someone gave you $1 million to never see your mother again, would you do it? So it's the people, not the same kind of logic, right? The people who use the program and misuse it and decide to break up their family over it are the issue, not the actual program itself. But see, they won't make that kind of comparison. But yeah, the reason I'm glad Sanders said this is because there are a lot of new anti-war people who I think, and I've seen Jimmy make. He doesn't talk that often about so referring to Dorr. He doesn't speak often about Johnson, but I've seen him make similar kind of comments. These people will literally take away one of the most successful domestic policy presidents and reduce him down to international issues where he was not that great on. But I would say the exact same thing for a lot of other individuals from his era. I mean, let's remember, Gulf of Tonkin only had 2 people vote against it. But, you don't see them getting praised or mentioned as these wonderful figures. It's just nice to see another social democrat give Johnson credit where it's due. Because, like I said, people have a really, I've seen so many progressives and other types of political individuals, when you do one thing they don't like or 2 or whatever, they let it completely eradicate the rest of what you've done. And we're actually going to do a segment like that this week where we talk about the fact that TYT was going after Murkowski for seeming like she was going to vote for Trump's acquittal, and completely, even with Cenk trying to ignore the fact that she has been more consistent on voting for liberal positions than the rest of her party. Oh, you're not a moderate, in my view, even though you vote less with your party, which is kind of the point of why anyone would call you a moderate, but whatever. So it's just nice to hear this kind of commentary by Sanders.